Alright, this is day one, digging out the basement. I only got 6 wheelbarrows today because it's so tight down there. I'm just on my hands and knees. But I figure every day I'll just show the progress. I know I said I would get a video every day, but I'm terrible at remembering my phone at work. So this is after 1 week of digging. Alright. First I dug from this hole that way, put a little conveyor belt so I could get the dirt out. Then I started digging that way, then I came back this way. I keep finding massive boulders. I've been pulling them out. That hole, I have to take the conveyor belt out and then pull the boulders out. Then I jackhammer it because the dirt is just full of rocks. It's like going through concrete. The shovel does nothing. And I've been using a little army shovel for this whole thing so far. I'll show it to you. That's my shovel. I fill up those buckets, then I dump them on the conveyor belt. Then it goes into the garden tractor. I take it 1/4 of a mile away, dump the dirt. So I guess I'm about this corner, about 6 foot. I got another foot to go. I'm moving 1,000 cubic feet of dirt, and I've been doing about 100 feet a day about, so I figure it would take me about 18 days of digging. So far it's been a week. I'm just about halfway, but it's getting harder the deeper I go. The top is pretty soft, and then about a foot down, see right here, this first, I don't know, 8 inches is soft. Next, I don't know, foot, I get clay, maybe 1.5 feet. Then I get from here down, it's all rock, a little bit of sand in it. And then everything down here, this is about 5 feet down over here. It's just massive boulders that I've been moving around, like bedrock. But in a month, I will have I'm digging a 12 by 12. After the walls go in, I expect about a 10 foot by 10 foot inside dimensions. And just wanted to get a couple shots of this before I bury it the rest of the way. I dug a 4 foot deep tunnel all the way to the outside, about 15 feet through under the house, and then 10 feet out. I'm gonna hook up all the plumbing. I got a really double insulated line coming from the well pump, and this is a line going out to the power of the well pump. This one is, I'm putting a sump pump in here just in case we have a flood. So it's 2.5 inches that's going to the outside. And then I put in a 2-inch conduit that this is going to a backup generator out by the drawbridge. So I just got to run that. Then over here, I'm going to put, this is a new 200 amp service. I'm going to run right through here out to the telephone pole, which is, I don't know, about 70 feet. I got most of the footings dug, about 12 inches deep, and this board is just, I'm going to hang vapor barrier down it, then 3 inches of insulation, then concrete block. So the board is really just to hold the vapor barrier up while I work in here. It'll eventually decay, but who cares. And all I have is all the dirt I pulled out of the hole. And I should have this all back in there today, and then I'll get to start laying the foundation. So this is week 2. Let's see. Yeah, that's an 8 foot ladder. It's getting pretty deep. Had to dig that hole out quite a bit because there was a massive boulder here. I don't know if you remember, it was 5 feet wide, 4 feet tall, and 3 feet wide or lengthwise. So I had to make a big old hole to pull it out with a winch. I had about 80 other boulders in here. You can see when I started, this was the ground level. I don't know, about 6 inches on this side, and then it dropped down to about 16 inches over here. Now it is to the bottom of the rafter. It's just over 7 feet. And now I got to dig a footing all the way around. Put rebar, styrofoam, moisture barrier, more rebar or concrete. All I have is this little pile left Just this little tiny bit left, probably about, I don't know, half a day. I'll be done with that and then start with the foundation. All right. Yeah, these beams, beautiful, aren't they? Yeah, they are definitely temporary. I'm gonna put one right in the middle, dig a footing, and then right where they meet up. The whole house is coming down next summer and it'll get all reframed anyway, so this is just temporary. None of it's load bearing. It's all cathedral ceiling, so the middle doesn't really matter. Here we are in the basement. I got plastic up all the way, all the walls. This is the chute I'm gonna bring the concrete in, and that's to backfill once I get some concrete walls back up. I don't trust this plywood to hold anything back, so once I get the brick walls in, I will backfill all that piping so it doesn't freeze or anything in the winter. That will be the floor level, the top of that. I'm just gonna actually leave the wood in there, and because it's gonna get 3 inches of styrofoam on this wall, so that'll just be buried in the footing. This footing is about 14 inches across. I have 12 inches of insulation. It's 9 inches deep, so it's going to be a 9 by like 14 footing. That should be good enough. I mean, it's not even load bearing. We'll put reinforced rebar all the way around. Then I'll bring it up through the bricks. I'll make a whole cage out of it just to be safe. Hate for a wall to break and then I have to do this again. So now I got to rake the actual floor flat. I will tape all the seams of this plastic and add one more piece right here in the middle once it's nice and flat. Then I will cover this with more polyester, whatever it is, high density styrofoam, extruded polyester, whatever. Okay. Yeah, so it's gonna get foam. Then once I do the rebar on top of the foam, I will pour the concrete, and then I get to do the walls. So hopefully a couple more days. All right, finally concrete day. Yay. All right, so put that little board up there just to hold the rebar straight while I pour concrete. The corner ones, I gotta make sure they stand up. But it's all foamed in. I got my sump pump, poured my pad to hold the ceiling up for now. Then I'll put a lolly column in when I pull that out. Yeah, have the little piece it together right there, but it's just insulation, it'll be fine. And it's all whole steel grid pattern all the way around. Plenty of metal. Yep, all right. So now I got the fun day of mixing concrete coming out the hole. Alright, so the concrete's dry. Ended up putting a jack post in and reinforcing this joint. All the insulation's in. Still have a piece to go in here. It is right there. So as I build the wall up, I will tape that plastic off and fill that. But right now I'm using the chute. I'm gonna load the bricks in. Had a board sitting there. It's just didn't dry as fast as the rest. There's nothing wrong with it. And all the rebar's in. Sump pumps in, or the hole for it. Got a grounding rod there. A grounding rod right there. Because I'm gonna do a new electrical panel on this wall. All right, this is after day 1 of building the walls. I got 3 rows done. First row was definitely the hardest, getting it perfectly level, plumb. The second 2 rows went much faster, and then I filled them with concrete. I know you're probably supposed to do the whole thing at once, but there's just no way I'm gonna be able to do it from the top down, so I'm gonna fill every 3 rows. Also, there's a rebar band I put around the first row, and then I'm going to put another one on this row, just around the whole room. Tied all the rebar together. And and then I'll do it every 3 rows. I'll put a band around the whole thing. So just really lock this whole wall together. Then I still have this panel up here to remove, and I'll backfill for all this piping. And then when I remodel the house next year and I remove the living room, I'll backfill the rest of it once I know these walls are nice and sturdy. I didn't really go over how I did concrete day by myself. This is a do-it-yourself project, so I have a mixer, about one of those little wheelbarrow size 4 cubic foot mixers. I would mix 4 bags of concrete, I'd pour it down the chute, then I would mix another 4, and I just let it fall on the ground, and then I would scrape it this way, and that's why over there it was really dry by the time I got the whole room done. So it didn't get perfectly flat. I mean, it's this, I don't know, 3/4 of the room is really nice and flat, but just right there, I've been working on it all day by myself, so I kept moving the concrete this way, and that kept getting refilled because I kept dumping more concrete in. It'll be fine once I tile the room, I'll get it perfect, but right now it's a little wavy just in this corner. And this was the board I was kneeling on to do it, and then I jumped out the hole to get out of here because I didn't have the ladder. The concrete was all wet. So overnight, that board sat there, and then the next day I came and removed the board. So, I mean, it's flat. It's just a different color, like it's drying a day behind or something. Yeah, but to fill these bricks, I could not pour the concrete down there because it was a little wetter. And it was just, I mean, I had buckets there. It was overflowing the buckets, and I was only doing half as much concrete, and it was just making this huge mess. So I actually walked each bucket down here. Took 1 bucket for each hole, so there's like 64 holes. Took 64 buckets of concrete that I mixed out there with a hand mixer, and then walked down the ladder. This was probably the hardest job I've had so far of the whole project. Is just moving all that concrete. Maybe if I broke it up in a couple days it would have been better, but this is day 1. Today I'm just going to try to do 2 rows because I'm going to have to cut each brick to lay the rebar under it, and then tie all the rebar together. Hopefully I'll get at least 1 or 2 more rows done today, and then tomorrow I'll do the concrete. I mean, once I get to there, I'm going to have to really cut all the bricks out. This chute practically does nothing now except I slide the bricks down, making a little pile right there. That's pretty much it. So I'll update you now. Okay, it's been a couple days. Got 6 rows up. I had left the chute in the hole, and it rained all day and just soaked this whole corner. But I mean, it's just water, it'll dry. These are all filled all the way up with concrete. Everything's tied together. All the rebar is all tied all the way around. Went around the pipes, filled all that. I foamed around them first, and then I've been filling it in with grout and concrete. But I mean, it's all completely filled. I've been backfilling through the hole, so all the way down, all the way up is going to be filled with dirt. Let me see if I have a little light right here. So that's the level way up there, and as you can see, I've been backfilling. I haven't been going higher than the brick wall that I've been building, so tomorrow I should be up to this height, and I will completely fill this. Been having to use a small bucket, pretty slow going. That's about it. I think I have about 3 more rows to get to the top. I should be able to finish today. I've been foaming around the top, airtight. Haven't done this side though. But all right, this will probably be my last video of the basement. Here we go. I let it dry for almost a month. Then I laid tile that looks like wood. Some marble walls. That's where my electrical panel is going to go, right there. That's where all the water, probably put the water, hot water tank, well tank. That's going to be the sump pump just in case we have a flood. Still got that beam. And stuff to do lighting. Put the tanning bed over on this side. And I'll do a trapdoor with a set of stairs coming down over here. And that's pretty much it. I think it turned out all right for being a hole in the ground. I just want to do this. I just want to do a quick video. So that's the original hole. I closed it up. I made this trapdoor today. All right. Put a little hydraulics on it so it holds up. I haven't built the ladder. I got the tanning bed down there last night. That was a freaking beast. I didn't want to put the beam in, but because the tanning bed was so wide, I had to cut the floor joist out. So I had to put a support on each side of it. It's all temporary anyway, because I'm raising the house next year. So I just didn't want to have a beam that he needed to walk around if he wanted to get in the tanning bed. But that's life. Turned out pretty cool though. Now I'm going to carpet all the floor, and you'll probably never see it. I just want to do the last video with the carpet and the stairs in. I mean, it's dark down there, but yeah, you're not going to see anything. Everything's finished for now. Put a little handle on it. And that's how it looks.